So it's like all these titles and things. So talk to me about this because I see this and this is one of the
So,
things.
I had a really interesting experience with a young man. I was out at a local school, do a keynote, and this young man who was working in administration came up to me, and one of the first things out of his mouth was, and I'm ABD. And I looked at him and I
Uh,
said, that's not a thing. I said, like I said, either you are or you aren't. I said, if you were preparing to be a plumber, would you say I'm almost a plumber?
Thank you.
You know, you're a student, or you've attained the credential. So he emailed me some weeks later, and he said, I was really angry when you said that to me.
Mm,
I felt like you weren't giving me credit. He said, but when I calmed down, I realized I need to get this thing done. And I'm sure given what you do, this thing that I say to students all the time really fits into what you do. And I always say the only good dissertation is a done dissertation.
yeah, I
Don't
just
tell me about what you about to do. It has to get done. So yeah, I started really thinking about this notion because people were giving me business cards
yeah.
that said ABD, and I'm like, why are you telling people you haven't finished? I said, at most, you can call yourself a doctoral candidate, which says I've taken all my coursework and my proposal's been accepted. But
It,
no.
it's yeah, it's wild because I tell people all the time. Everybody probably has that relative or knows somebody who's been ABD for 20 years and not
Mhm,
has no intention to finish this thing, but still carries that. It's not even real, but carries that distinction, if you will.
mhm.
And it just baffles me. Like I said, because I think it signals, and I see people go on the job market doing this in terms of not even not academic related jobs, but other jobs. It just signals to an employer that you don't finish the task, and so
Right.
that's not the signal you want to give to an employer.
Exactly. And one of the things that I tell my undergraduates, I said, very few people actually work in the field that is linked directly to what they studied in
Yeah,
college, right? Unless you went through a professional school like teacher education, um, but most of the time, you're open for almost any kind of job.
yeah,
I said, and employers don't really care what you majored in for a lot of the folks in tech, they have degrees in English.
yeah.
They don't have computer science degrees because what that degree signals to an employer is you can stick to something.
Hmm.
For 4 years, you stuck it out and you completed it. So if you're telling people I'm not finished, you're saying I can't stick to it. I can't complete things.
Yeah, so folks, don't get mad at me. You heard it from multiple folks just saying, please let this thing go with the ABD. Oh, it burns. It's sad because I want to see people finish. Because I always tell people we shouldn't have. I shouldn't have never started this type of consulting because folks should be finishing these programs, but the folks are
Hmm.
not, and it's just unfortunate. But I don't want us to keep promoting, that this is the way we need to go, ABD, and it's not. So I'm glad that you have reiterated some of the things that we often tell a lot of students. And so with that, I want to go to another one because again, these are just things I've kept in my log, and this one I love this one.